Hi everybody, welcome to the video. This is another update on the fishing boat. It's changed a little bit since what I said in the last video was going to be done, but more or less the same thing. First, I painted it. It is now what the can calls glossy burgundy, and then the bottom is a hammered silver. I didn't like that blue-green color that was on it. I got the new stickers on for the Marine Craft numbers, and I tried to get the original decals riveted back on. I don't have the ray for this side, but it still says sun, and the sun's always a good thing. The other side, I had the whole thing, so it says sun ray on this side. And then I have had my buddy come up on Memorial Day weekend, and we did some fabrication on this. Aluminum welded in some floor joists, and we decided to just do the whole thing a deck from the back bench. It'll be a deck all the way to here. I pulled out the center foam box that would be for flotation if the boat flipped. We emptied out the single cell foam that was in it. I'm just putting things back in my own way. And it's still in progress, but refilled it with spray foam. We're gonna get that whole thing filled out. We turned it sideways, which it'll still give the flotation. It won't be as high to try to keep this side flipped up, but it's gonna do its job if for some reason this boat were to flip. This is over it just to keep rain out of that until I finish it. The steering console is still going to be going in all the way at the front of this main, now full floor deck there. And I will just be using, I'm not certain if it's this seat yet or a different pedestal seat, but I do have this seat. And now imagine a steering console, the one from the last video, in here. And more or less, this seat actually matches the paint scheme that we put on the boat. So that'll either be a taller one, and then also I have the nose deck done mostly. I've got to put in some supports up here for where the nose is going to sit, and basically triangle frame it up here so that I can have some form of little hatch that opens up to put my anchor down in, and you know, maybe the guide rope or something. I don't want to give up all that space for nothing, because we will be putting the flotation box back in here, which is in the garage. It's also been filled with spray foam. And then for the back, for now, it's just going to remain as a bench. As you can see, the transom is completely torn out, and this is the back section that had been on the transom, which I will be taking. It's not necessary, however, I am going to be taking a piece of plywood that is half the thickness of this, you know, down to what this was carved to, and remaking another one of these, because when we took it off, or when I took it off, you can see it's bowed. As soon as it came off, it was bowed. You don't want that. You don't want it trying to flex the aluminum in the back of the boat. So that'll be replaced. Then this is going to remain the same for now. It'll be dual fuel tanks, battery in the middle, the same motors from the last video for now. And then eventually we're going to put in supports right here, which I have a bunch of aluminum barring and stuff like these. These are from my old garage door. When we had the garage door replaced with the triple insulated door, we took the old fiberglass one, and I kept these because I knew eventually they could be used for something. Now they're floor joists in an aluminum boat. And then the roof is on the top of the kids' bus stop in one of the hunting, or the old door, the fiberglass door, is now the roof on the kids' bus stop and one of our hunting blinds at the Zero Shack. But back to the boat. It is a new transom has been done, or is in the process. New floor, new nose. Steering column will go up here. I'm probably going to try to design some little hatches here, you know, to maybe store stuff down there. There's a little bit of fabrication that's still got to get done, but I'll take you over to the barn and I'll show you what I've got done for the decks and the transom on it. Also, last video I told you that the one boat turned into 2 boats. Well, 2 boats turned into 3 boats, and there's another boat. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but it turned out to be a really, really good deal, and I think it's going to be a cool video. I got it for scrap price. So, now, there's the new transom. I am in the process of fully sealing it. Got to wait for the next bottle of epoxy to come. This is Total Boat penetrating epoxy, and you can see it's got, this side's done, other than a little touch up it needs over here. Most of this top section is done, and I got to do 2 more coats back here. 1 coat, sand it, and then do another coat. The issue I've run into, and this thing's taken forever, is these 2 spots were holes that went completely through. Let's see if I can flip this over real quick. To the bottom, right there. And I've had to fill those. And that wasn't the easiest thing, taping it up, trying to get those to hold a liquid epoxy in. But eventually I got it to do it. And you can see there's still little tiny pockets there, so I'm going to have to lift this thing up on an angle, fill those to get it to finalize out. But we extended the transom down. It was flat across before. We extended it down to give more support. This should make this transom last forever. Like my entire lifetime, this thing should never have to be repaired. It should be just fine as long as I make sure I seal all the cracks and gaps and everything in it, do the sanding properly, fill this little saw mark in so that there's no way for water to just settle in there. Then, pardon the messy barn, got the new chicken coop built, so this is all got to get torn down. And here we have the main deck, which it is ready to be sanded down and then have its final coat put on it. Then this will get set in. I will have screws, nutserts put into the aluminum floor joist, and then it'll be screwed down more or less, or bolted down, and then I'm gonna have some carpet over top of it, and then, like I said, we'll figure out where hatches are going in it, if they are. And then the nose. There's the front casting deck. It also just needs to be sanded, have its final coat put on, and a little bit, you can see the epoxy caused some splits in the wood here. I'm going to have to fill that and then finalize that up. But it is all coming along quite well, and I had to order the new epoxy. It'll be here in about a week. Once I got that in, I can finalize everything on these, and then I'll try to get you another update video after that. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you tune in for the next one and enjoy what you're watching.